York is fucking back!
Knicks are here, baby! The Knicks are fucking here!
Knicks! Let's go, Knicks! Let's go, Knicks!
You smoking on that Boston pack tonight, you
You
right?
are from New York! You can't survive this shit, nigga! Go New York! Go New York! Go! Go New York! Go New York! Go! If I had a sister, I'd let Jalen Brunson and the entire New York Knicks run a fucking train on her tonight!
If they could take out the reigning defending NBA champions, who can't they be? This is how I'm feeling right now. New York City is where it's at right now. This Saturday, Game 3. It's what it's all about, baby.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I hope you've had a pretty good day today, and I hope you've had a good past few weeks without a podcast. I hope you've enjoyed the podcast, but hope you've, other than the podcast, listening to and waiting for them, hope you've had a nice few weeks recently. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and say a few things before we jump into this unofficially sponsors and our NBA conference finals/finals talk coming up. So a few things I'll go ahead and say. I'll mention that I do plan on coming out with a new intro coming up soon. So I think it might be next Thursday or so. I think it might be next Thursday because June is different. It's summer, so we'll see what I come up with or with what someone comes up with. I'm gonna, I guess, put it up on my Instagram, take a poll and see what people say. And for whoever, I will see your YouTube comment section. Just something to figure out by Thursday. I'll try it and see how that works. And if I don't really like it, I'll give the people credit, but I'll look at others. So there's the first part, and then some personal stuff. Don't worry, it's not sad. It's just like a few things to honorable mention, I guess you can say. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is, I know, makes me feel old, but I already knew I was old anyways. That my sister this past Saturday, she had graduated from Science Hill. And so I was right next to the stage where she got off of the steps, so I could cheer her on and all that. So it was really sad, but also in a good way. It was proud of her for all she did, and she got all those ribbons and medals and all that for being too smart. She's gonna go to Lipscomb this fall for theater, I believe. And right now, she is officially out of town in Charleston with a few of her friends. So, now it's awkward. But aside from that, I'm gonna go ahead and mention up the second personal thing, and it is a happy birthday to my uncle. I already wished him a happy birthday, so I don't want everyone to think I'm just now mentioning it. But yeah, his birthday was on Tuesday, so I said, happy birthday, big dog, and he said, thanks, man. Obviously, you gotta appreciate the happy birthdays and all that, or it just makes it really weird to not say thanks. And it would just be all awkward next time you see each other. And then also, my grandma's birthday is coming up on Saturday, so don't worry, I remembered that. I didn't have to look it up or anything. I was like, I know it's at the end of May, right next to my uncle's birthday, so I talked about it. She said, yeah, you're right, it's on the 31st. I was like, oh yeah, I knew that. But yeah, happy early birthday to her on the podcast-wise, so. And I also figured out yesterday, whenever she was taking me to work, because my car's been having some troubles lately. And so she took me to work yesterday, and my little, I think it's cousin or whatever, my little cousin now officially has a second dog. Or aunt, uncle, aunt, cousin, I guess you can say. Yeah, they now have a second dog, and it's a girl. And their first dog is a boy. So that's going to be a very interesting time with them, especially. And one thing that makes it crazier, though, it's a little roast, I guess you can say, but I don't even see how that dog is gonna, be able to balance out everything in their house, because, they already have trouble with the big dog, or with their first dog. It's a big-ass dog, too, just like the second dog that they have, so I think it's like some kind of poodle thing. But yeah, so that's going on, and they leave the doors open all the time. The first dog gets out, or not gets out, but he eats too much random stuff for you to even mention. Chocolate ate it, Trashies ate it, open a door that's barely correct. He's been in there and possibly ate toothpaste. Next thing you know, the second dog's gonna be following the same thing that he does. So I told him, I was like, y'all need to keep a good eye on everything, because now they have to, might as well just put a lock on every drawer or something, because you never know with those kind of dogs. I don't have any idea about their dogs. I just have a tiny ass dog, so she's about not even to my shin. I'm 5'6", so if you look it up, you can tell it's like a midget. It's the size of a midget, like just how tall they are. Aside from that, we're going to go ahead and get into some NBA Conference Finals playoffs. We've had a couple things happen. I remember, I think it was about episode 4 or 5, which was the one before school let out and stuff. And me and Charles talked about it a little bit, but I already said it. I already called this for the Western Conference fight. I said, whenever in the second round, the semifinals, we had the Thunder versus the Nuggets. They're going to go to the finals. The person that wins the Nuggets versus the Oklahoma City Thunder is going to go to the NBA Finals. And I knew it was a Game 7. Me and Charles knew it. We already called it. It was going to be a Game 7 guarantee. And we got it right. We were right. And next thing you know, it was yesterday. And yesterday was it. The Oklahoma City Thunder advanced to the NBA Finals in 5 games. I swear, I don't want this to happen, honestly. The Timberwolves, honestly, they just, yeah, I don't know, honestly. I mean, I know that the game that they did win, though, I'll give them some credit. It was by like 30 or 40. But honestly, I don't want this to happen. I don't want the Oklahoma City Thunder to win this NBA final this year. So we have the Western Conference NBA Finals team all set and ready to make, in no matter who wins this is going to be history for all the teams. Well, for the Eastern Conference team that comes out on top to go to the NBA Finals. Either way, this is going to be a 6-game series. I'm not really going to enjoy it because I gotta give Thunder props. I gotta give them props. It's just a lot I didn't really like. I mean, I say the Thunder are a good team. Obviously, have the number 1 seed in the Western Conference, and then they also have the second best record, I believe, or the first best record in the league. So there's props to them. And the Shea Alexander dude that I talked about in the MVP race also had won the MVP in the NBA. So there's props for him, but apparently with the polls that were given, 73 and 29, 73 votes for the Shea Alexander dude to win the MVP, with 23 second place votes for him. On the flip side, with the Denver Nuggets guy that me and Charles talked about, it was an MVP series. It was going to be whoever won the Nuggets versus the Thunder is going to win the MVP. It's either the Shea Alexander or the Nikola Jokic dude. Ended up with the Thunder, which the Thunder had the MVP, ended up winning, and the Nuggets had lost with the Nikola dude that averaged a triple-double this season with over 25 points or 20 points a game. I think it was 11 or 12 rebounds a game and 10 assists a game. But, that's not too bad. That's totally not a lot, with the Shea guy only averaging 33 points a game and like 6 rebounds and 5 assists a game or something. That's just something I didn't understand. I mean, I'm assuming it's because of his record and his team record, but that's my thoughts on this overall race that happened. I was a little disappointed, but Nikola, though, he had the complete opposite in the MVP voting, with 73 second place and 29 first place for MVP. I was honestly thinking I knew that was a surprise for seeing how many people voted that bad, because I was thinking it'd be like a 54 to 47 race or something, but apparently not. I can't remember who does the polls and stuff like that, but I know for a fact the teams just surprised me very much with how they voted and who they voted for in the MVP race. But that's that for the Western Conference. I'm done talking about the Thunder and the Western Conference for right now. Now we're going to go to the Eastern Conference. For the Eastern Conference, we have the Indiana Pacers versus the New York Knicks. And this, honestly, in my life, I believe, is going to make me stop watching NBA basketball if what I think is going to happen tonight. Tonight is the Knicks versus the Pacers at Madison Square Garden. There's an advantage for the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks play at Madison Square Garden as their home court, or whichever. Madison Square Garden is obviously the most famous arena in the world, next to, well, much higher than the TD Garden, that I believe, because the New York Knicks are like the most profitable, or like have, just look it up and you'll see that Madison Square Garden is the most famous arena in the world because of how many boxing matches and how many greats they've had come through. All I know is it's one of the most successful but also unsuccessful profitable team you could think of. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, the New York Knicks are facing elimination sadly tonight. I called it. I knew it, but in a sad way though. I called that it would be a Knicks and 6 thing. Knicks and 6 ain't looking like it. It looks like Pacers in 5, but I really want this to happen. I really want. Alright, it's game 5. Alright, it's game 5 for the Knicks versus Pacers. Alright, cool. In Madison. Alright, got it. All caught up. Yeah, Indiana Pacers are up 3-1 against the New York Knicks. And since the Pacers had won the other night, I believe it was, today's Thursday, so Monday or Tuesday, whenever they were in Indiana going to New York, or yeah, no, I guess we'll just go ahead with New York. They were up 3-1 with another close win. And these Knicks, oh boy, the Knicks are something. With me, honestly, believing in them. I really want the Knicks to be one of the teams to come back down 3-1. And if you look up how many teams have come back down 3-1, I think it's in conference finals or in playoffs history, you can see it's a very, very high chance that the Indiana Pacers are going to win this game 5 tonight at 7 o'clock, I believe, 7 or 8:30 Eastern time. But the Knicks, they face a lot. They face some very main guy that they need to end up being at least playable for a good amount of minutes tonight. Karl Anthony Towns, he is questionable for tonight's game. I believe some other big name player for the Pacers, or he like has some kind of role that pitches with the Pacers. He is also questionable, but I heard that both stars are supposed to play tonight. So, but Karl Anthony Towns, I kind of actually saw his injury. It wasn't really an injury for him to like be on the ground like doing circles and how his knee is, but he connected with another player's knee. I think that might be the one that's also questionable. So I think Karl Anthony Towns, they both came up together hitting each other's knees. I know that Carl and the guy, they both were coming. Carl Anthony, I think that's actually his first full name. That's not his middle name. So that was a really cool thing for me to actually know. I think it was yesterday or the day before. So that was really weird. Now, I'm just really wondering what his middle name is. Do people even have middle names? Like, do they just go like Pepper Penny or something like that as his first name? That'd be a really weird first name. Pepper Penny with the first name. Would it be like Jackson and then Edwardson or something like that? Or is it just Pepper Penny Jackson or Edwardson? I'm not even gonna. This is confusing people already, and it confused me too, but yeah, this is going to be a very important guy that needs to play tonight. If he doesn't play, this is not going to be a good outcome, most likely, for these New York Knicks. If I can't remember his name, honestly, the head coach for the Knicks, I'll just call him head coach. But yeah, I know that the game that the Knicks had won, actually, it still had Karl Anthony Towns in it, uninjured, but it was a switch between two guys, and I saw that help them. But I think it's someone else I can't remember what the lineup is looking like tonight. But if Karl Anthony Towns is not going to play his minutes like he always does, with about 30 something minutes or 30, 40 minutes, well, mostly pretty much tonight, because he's a big name superstar, so he's most likely going to have to play strong minutes. But if he's very questionable with like just still having problems but still able to play, pushed out to play, his minutes are going to be very limited, with very hard time for the Knicks to try and get the ball passed around to their main basketball star known as Jalen Brunson. He's been an up and down guy. I mean, he's a good player, don't get me wrong. He's the Knicks. He is the Knicks superstar. He is focused around. He is like a Stephen Curry of the Golden State Warriors. He's the LeBron James of the Lakers. You can pretty much name it. Anthony Edwards, he's the build around for the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is very important, honestly, for me too, because if the New York Knicks don't make this game go to a game 7, there's two things that go wrong with this. The TNT or TNT network or channel or whatever, they have a pre-show with very fun cast of Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley. I can pretty much name them all, but their contract, it's called the Inside the NBA in with TNT or something like that, brought to you by TNT. And their contract with TNT, Inside the NBA contract, is going to be due up with the channel of TNT and going to move to ESPN. Now, with ESPN and all of what Disney is owning, which ESPN is owned by Disney, you never know, honestly, with Disney now, because with TNT, the guys are like almost as free as a bird, can do whatever they want, whenever. Well, not whatever, but just TV, just like, as you can say, pushed around TV limits, because, you gotta make it suitable for everyone and fun as always. But if you look at what Disney's done with professional games like the NFL, they did like graphics or whatever, just like in a cartoon style. I didn't really like it. I don't like it. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if ESPN did that. If ESPN Disney just push these guys over a limit of them being themselves to either calming down to be less, I don't know, attachable, or just like less focused on actually having fun and doing what they always do. They've done it for 20 years. I know that for a fact. Done it for over 20 years. So I hopefully Disney does not pull this out from everyone. That's Inside the NBA. You won't believe how many views they get like before the actual games that they cover. It's one hell of a pre-TV pre-game that they do. I think you could also look at College Game Day and see how many people check that out, but that's college. So if you compare them in views, I believe that you can see there's a similarity with the pre-hype and fun before the games and all the main games for College Game Day. But I know this is switched to another thing. College football, NCAA 26, or NCAA football 26 is going to be, it's an official launch. It is officially launching July 10th. You could get the pre-order stuff, and if you want to do all that weird, oh hey, I'm a cool YouTuber or whatever, you can get that. Nothing against it. I've done it with the NBA or National Basketball Association, 2K, whichever, but it's been been a couple years since I've played 2K, because I think that last one I got was about 3 years ago or so. I can't remember, but yeah, it's been quite some time since all kinds of things have happened. And then we have back to the main focus of whatever I talked about for these Knicks versus Pacers. What I really need is for these Knicks to win these games coming up to make it to a game 7 back at the Madison Square Garden. But there's a but in there. Not a literal but you can include one if you want to. But the Knicks record in Madison Square Garden, the best fans, just like the Dallas Cowboys. The Knicks are just like the Dallas Cowboys of the NBA, and I guess you can say I guess in the NBA, because Lakers and Celtics are pretty big names across the whole world, or NBA, whichever. Top notable names that you can most likely 99% of the people just already know who you're talking about once you say the Celtics or the Lakers. But yeah, the Dallas Cowboys pretty much are or the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks are the Dallas Cowboys of the NBA, of basketball, I guess you can say, in professional, because Dallas has always have good seasons. Like, they've had pretty good successful seasons just for them in the regular season, but whenever it comes to playoffs or like a chance to go to the Super Bowl or conference or something, it's always blowing. It's blowing out just like the waters of whatever that dude's name is that opened the Red Sea, or I can't remember what it was, the dude that parted the sea. So yeah, this needs to go to a game 7, or I'm not gonna even worry about these NBA finals because I already caught it. I already talked about it. Whoever wins the Nuggets versus Thunder is going to win the whole NBA championship. Now, am I gonna call it a very high game? No. Well, yes, this Thunder team is going to win in either 5 games, but very, very, very less likely. Well, yeah, less likely to win even if it's pushed to game 6. 2 games for if. If the Pacers win this, it'll be luckily 2 games for them to squeeze by. And if you even think about it, you'll be pushing the game 7 for any matchup that the Thunder have, I believe, because the Thunder are going to be a better rested team. I mean, yes, there's still going to be time for the winner, the Pacers or Knicks, to get some rest, but the Thunder are they're going to be well rested. But I think with that well rested, though, they're still going to get practice in, obviously, and get the feel for the mood, I guess you can say, the society or something like that, to get used to how everything is. So I guess if you're gonna look at it and be the Thunder that somehow in Neverland listen to this, just go ahead and go to Indiana. Just go ahead and head to Indiana. I can't remember where they're located at, honestly. Indiana Pacers is all I know. I swear, I think Indiana. No, I don't care. It's a team I don't care about. But these Knicks need to make it a game 7. If they don't, my NBA basketball is like gonna be dead. It's gonna be dead to me pretty much for. Think about it, dead. I don't even care about the whole NBA draft, and the NBA draft, if you look at it, was very, very rigged. I think everyone knows it. If you look more into it, you'll be like, you'll know in the back of your head that one little piece of tissue in your brain, you're gonna be like, this is so rigged. In the most craziest trade that happened, which 2006 or 7, there was gonna be another actual big blockbuster trade, but didn't go through because of a whole bunch of crazy things, and commissioner dude he had the power over one of the teams, and so I'm not gonna go into that. But yeah, this is a very NBA choice for me. So I plan on possibly eating wings at Southern Crafters, so at different places to watch these NBA finals. But if the Knicks cannot pull it off tonight, or I think tonight, Sunday, and Tuesday, then I'm done with the NBA for quite some time. I'm not even going to pay attention to it. I honestly just might unfollow the NBA on my social media because I'm just going to keep getting busted with the NBA notifications and all that. I don't know, it hurts my head because it's just sad. Everyone had the Knicks winning it in 6. I had the Knicks in 6, but right now it's not looking like it. It's looking Knicks in 7. So I really, really need this to. Even if the Knicks lose, I'll still watch. Well, no. Even if the Knicks win Game 7 and they go up against the Thunder, that'll be a Game 6, I think. Do I think it'll be another Knicks Game 6? Possibly. There's a possibly for Knicks in 6 in the NBA Finals. Maybe lucky Knicks. That's a push right there. That's a push button right there. But yeah, all reality, this is going to be a very stressful time for me. I'm going to go ahead and bring out a bottle of beer. I'm going to go ahead and get a beer ready for me to watch this possible depression begin in my life, because I'm going to have to wait about 5 months to watch NBA basketball again. I'll be very sad, but it's life. And I think it's about, either way, it's a lot of months to go. So yeah, I don't want to do it tonight. I don't want to drink my depression away tonight. I hopefully can do it later than I think. So we'll see how that goes. Anyways, I think I'm gonna call it right there. Knicks in 7, and also with that advance, we have the Knicks in 6, also in the NBA Finals. And one more thing to add, other than NBA, the Johnson City Doughboys is a Appalachian League baseball collegiate league for so the Doughboys that I brought up earlier, though, they are a Appalachian League, which used to be a single A baseball team for used to host the Johnson City Cardinals, which was affiliated with the actual St. Louis Cardinals. So, but they got rid of it, so no more affiliation with MLB baseball. It is now tied with college kids, I think freshmen through seniors, and it's gonna be a year or a season. They play June through July, and the championship is the beginning of August. So that's something I look forward to this year. The Doughboys are hosting two teams this year, so they're going to have the Johnson City Doughboys this year, and they're going to have the Bristol State Liners, because the Bristol State Liners are a team that don't have a stadium up right now. So they're building that and should be up and running by next season in 2026. And I am going to go ahead and get this out of the way, that Okay, alright, I'm gonna go ahead and get this out of the way and promote it a little bit, because I want people to, listeners, come on out, support. I'm gonna be working there this fall, or this summer. I'm gonna be working their games for both Johnson City Doughboys and the Bristol State Liners. I'm going to be working 48 out of 61 days in the 2 months spanned, so that'll be something, but also a money grabber. So it'll be fun for me. And I also work as a concession person. I don't make handmade, but I just put some pretzels, funnel cakes in the oven and put them out for everyone to enjoy. I get a lot of positive feedback for the most part. And one thing, though, I do have to point out is that inflation inflation might kick in. I think last year they were like $6 or something for a funnel cake and 5 for a pretzel. It's crazy. And then it's going to be the same. The whole season starts next week at 7 o'clock. First pitch is going to be Johnson City Doughboys against the Bristol State Liners. I think that the Doughboys and State Liners in the first week or the second week, they have 9 straight games for, I think, both teams. So Bristol is going to have a series, 3 games in a row, and then Doughboys or something. Something is going to happen to have us work 9 days straight. So that'll be a fun adventure to help run it. But I don't care. More money for me, and I do accept tips. But, no pressure. Wink, wink, I guess you can say. But yeah, working with my guy Xander, we've been working for past 3 years. I've been working with the Doughboys for the past 4 years. So I know my tricks, and not gonna go ahead and give out any freebies, wink wink in quotes, unless I know you. Wink wink also, quote. But yeah, going on with this summer, I do plan on these podcasts, I do plan on trying to get some of the baseball players in, some of the staff that run, the assistant general manager. We've been really good friends. The main manager, though, he is a very, very busy person, but I'll try and get him in there too on some of the off days or early into maybe some of the games or so. But yeah, we have a fan day June 4th coming up, I think about 5 o'clock at 510 Birch Street in Johnson City. That's a little promotion right there. And let's see, Fan Day is the 4th, which is this upcoming Wednesday. And we have the official season start June 5th, the next day, to go ahead and start the season out. So I think I'll get someone on to feature on next week's episode. I'm gonna have that done on Wednesday, but I'm gonna have it out hopefully on Thursday. So we'll see. And then I believe as the season goes on, I'm gonna be covering how the season's going, updates obviously, and that'll be it for the NBA Finals. Actually, I believe the second week of June. So who cares? But yeah, let's see, Doughboys and Bristol State Liners. I'll talk to, I guess, both staff and see what they think about, and some of the players, have them on as guests if they want to, like, join in on one or get a few players in to talk about how their season is, or just different topics. I'll talk to them. So I'll put it up on my Instagram, Peyton.Whitaker_22. Check that out soon, hopefully. There's going to be single digits days for me to actually have time to do some of these, because I'll be dead eat. Like, I have to work with my actual job once every 2 weeks to stay on payroll, or its termination. So it'll be a very interesting summer coming up. I'm ready for it, but I'm also going to be tired. Late games about 10, 11 o'clock. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how this goes. And I hopefully hope to see some people out there. Well, I guess for the most part, yeah, because this is going to be shared with about 70 views, hopefully. Yeah, come in next time. It'll be done on Wednesday, out June 5th. So we'll see how this goes, and see how this podcast goes with comments on what I should do, and then it'll be fun. I think it will be a very adventurous summer, and I also I already have some plans on also more special guests going into after the Doughboys / Bristol State Liners season is done. Go ahead and think about some more ideas of, like, a special guest that'll obviously be back with college basketball in September or so. So I'll go ahead and start with that. I know a few people I could try and talk to and see how or what I think we could talk about, cover some topics, possibly with some of the players, some of the staff, possibly, and go out of town and talk to a few other guys that are with a different team that used to be with a very high-stake Johnson City team. Well, on ETSU. So used to be high staff, very, very awesome coach and assistant coaches over at where I plan on trying to get some people involved over there. So yeah. Alright, that's it. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I hope to possibly see you here. Well, have you listen to next Thursday's introduction to the Appalachian League. And yeah, here's today's quote.
As great as you are, as skilled as you are, as talented as you are, I just want one thing from you. Never allow life to make you forget why you do what you do. People don't burn out, people don't quit, people don't underachieve, people don't settle because of what they do. People burn out, people quit, people underachieve, and people settle because life makes them forget why they do it. If we respect it the way we say we respect it, if we love it the way we say we love it, if we cherish it the way we say we cherish it, every single day should be nothing less than excellence. You might not always be your best, but you can always bring me your best.
A few moments later.